Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Tuesday, November 17th. Off the heels of a surge in COVID-19 cases on the island of Exuma, MP for the island, Chester Cooper, is partnering with Diara Comprehensive Medical Center to provide free rapid antigen testing to residents this week. Now, on average, a rapid antigen test can cost around $40. Here's Mr. Cooper with more details.
This is where anyone wishing to go for free rapid testing can find out their status promptly. Important for them to do so, so that they don't perhaps infect their loved ones if they are COVID positive. So this is why we put it on. We think it's a responsible thing to do, and we've been calling for doing it for quite some time.
Now, back in October, Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis labeled the minister-led administration's testing policy as weak, causing many cases to go undiagnosed. This after Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis described the party as living in an Alice in Wonderland fantasy. After being asked if the government's considering free mass COVID testing, asked if the plan is to expand free testing to other islands, Mr. Cooper says this.
Well, this testing is being put on by myself as the Member of Parliament for Exuma and Ragged Island. So we are focusing on Exuma at the moment. After there was a mini surge on the island of Exuma, I saw it as my responsibility to offer this testing. We're urging the government to do this for all islands of the Bahamas. We've been advocating testing for quite some time, but I thought I'd lead the way on the island of Exuma.
Meantime, PLP leader Philip Davis, in an interview with JCN News, says free testing is intended to be expanded as soon as the party has access to more kits. Testing on Exuma will take place today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the St. Andrews Community Center.
We've made a lot of progress, and by hopefully if all goes well and all things being equal, by the end of this year, every child will have a device in their hand and every teacher will have a device in their hand. We're working assiduously to try to make that happen.
That's Deputy Director of Education Julian Anderson responding to questions posed by JCN's news team when asked to respond to concerns raised of a sizable amount of public school students still without a device, hindering them from accessing the ministry's virtual learning platform.
We started last week with the distribution of tablets in the primary schools, and that's 12,000 plus. We have another we have given for the lunch program, that's 5,000 plus, and we have procured the rest of the tablets for the upper primary. That's another 12,000 plus that would be here. Part of the shipment came today, the other part would be next week. So in about a week's time, let's say by the end of this month, all of the primary schools from K to grade 6, every student, every teacher will have a device in hand.
Last week, Minister of Education Jeffrey Lloyd signaled that face-to-face learning could resume in all schools across the country before the year end. Mr. Anderson says he could not speak to the minister's statement. However, he said that there would be many steps to follow before that could happen. Additionally, a petition made by students wishing to head back physically into the classroom arose on social media. Here's what Mr. Anderson has to say about that.
We all know that the face-to-face instruction is the best form of instruction. And it's very difficult. You know, as a people, we are resistant to change. And so children know what they're used to. And they've been used to that face-to-face instruction where they get up, get dressed, and go to school, and they meet a live, warm body in the classroom giving them instruction. When you have a situation where all of a sudden we would have had to deviate from that, students become lost and they move out of their comfort zone. And so when they're not familiar, then you're going to see some pushback.
Mr. Anderson says that the ministry needs to procure more devices in order to ensure that junior and high schoolers have a device, but hopes that by the end of this school year, every student would have access to a device for e-learning. Police discover dangerous drugs here in the capital. This also lands a Bahamas Department of Corrections officer on the wrong side of the law. According to police officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, while at the prison and acting on information, conducted a field search of a male employee and found a quantity of suspected marijuana. He was subsequently arrested. Officers then, while armed with a search warrant, went to the prison officer's residence where a search was conducted, resulting in an additional quantity of suspected marijuana being discovered. Formal charges will be levied against him in the magistrate's court. Now over in Grand Bahama, 2 males are in police custody after they were found in possession of a quantity of suspected marijuana shortly after 11 a.m. yesterday. Officers of the flying squad, while on mobile patrol in the Limewood Lane area, observed a 2010 Nissan Altima with 2 male occupants parked partially in the middle of the road, obstructing traffic. Officers approached the vehicle and smelled a strong aroma of marijuana emanating from the vehicle. Officers searched the occupant and the vehicle, where they discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana. Both males are expected to be arraigned before the magistrate court this week. A shooting incident here in the capital last night leaves a man in hospital nursing injuries. Police are now actively investigating that incident. Preliminary reports indicate that shortly after 6 p.m., a male, while walking in the vicinity of Market and Peter Street, noticed another male lurking in an open lot looking in his direction. The alleged lurker became aware that he was seen and produced a handgun and discharged it in the direction of the victim, hitting him in the right foot. The man was transported to hospital and is listed in stable condition. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.